The Cannabis Show is for information only. Nothing contained in the show is intended to constitute professional advice for medical diagnosis or treatment. We do not claim this information to be complete or exhaustive or to be applicable to any particular individual's medical condition. You should always consult with a qualified and licensed physician or other medical care provider.
Hi, and welcome to the Cannabis Show. I'm Chris, and with me here is Hart.
And hey, Chris, you know, if I can cannabis, you can too.
All right, well, let's get right to it. You know, the original ways of people, consuming their cannabis, for the longest time, where people would roll up a joint, put it in their pipe and smoke it, that type deal. You can eat it. There's so many different ways, but something that's really catching on is vaporizing, or what other people would say, vape.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we have here are an array of different vaporizers. One thing I want to point out is when we're talking about vaporizing cannabis, we're talking about using something called a dry herb vaporizer. And that's a lot different than some of those things you see, those people that are replacing cigarettes with.
The e-cigarette.
E-cigarettes, that kind of thing, where they're putting the juice in and they have all these different flavors. Those are different kind of vaporizers, and those aren't generally going to work for using a dry herb.
Okay, well, before we get into using these type of vaporizers that we have out on the table here, what are the benefits of vaping?
Vaporizing is the healthiest way to consume cannabis by inhaling it. There are very close to no carcinogens when you're vaporizing your bud, because you're not actually burning anything when you're vaporizing. So it's very important to know that you're just heating the cannabis up to a point where the medicinal ingredients, those cannabinoids, can actually get burned off, and you inhale them into your lung in a vapor. So it's really important to draw the distinction between smoking and burning cannabis than vaporizing cannabis.
So when you're vaporizing, when you put that cannabis into the vaporizer, what does it look like when it's done?
It's really easy to tell when it's done. So you're putting in a nice green product, obviously. When you're done vaporizing, it's going to turn a brown. It almost looks like cigarette tobacco, if you could draw a parallel with something. It's brown. It almost smells nutty, if you will. And it's important to also know that that product can be used again. So when you vaporize cannabis, absolutely, you can use it twice.
So you get your money's worth on that one.
Yeah, it's really the smartest, safest way to inhale cannabis, absolutely.
Now here, in front of us, we do have some vaporizers. And of course, people can see your products as well, I do believe, on your website, naturalhealthservices.ca.
They can come on down to the Education Center. We have all of our vaporizers available for sale there, and you don't have to be a patient. You can just come on in and visit us there. We have a bunch of different models for sale, ranging in price from $115 all the way up to $430.
Well, as we see in front of us, there's completely different ways for vaporizers to work, or how you use them and such. Well, let's start off with the Tilray brand here at the end here.
So this guy is, actually it's called the Ascent by a company called the Da Vinci. And it's a fantastic portable vaporizer. It actually has a glass mouthpiece that you would draw out like that. The cannabis goes into the bowl in the bottom. It's a ceramic chamber, and it's going to heat your cannabis up, as we discussed earlier, so that you can actually inhale it into your lungs.
Now, when it comes to heating up and stuff, is there different temperatures that you can use for different types of cannabis?
Absolutely, and that's a good differentiation for a lot of the different vaporizers. So some of the more high-end portable vaporizers and other vaporizers are going to have a temperature setting. So you're going to be able to set that temperature yourself, whereas other vaporizers are going to have set temperatures for you. So depending on your level of experience, you may want to choose either model.
Now this one over here, it kind of looks like your old school kind of pipe with your little chimney here type deal. So exactly what's going on with this one?
Yeah, this guy here is what we call the Magic Flight launch box. And it's kind of a different looking vaporizer. As you can see, it's made from wood. And how it works is powered by a rechargeable AA battery. So what you would do is you would grind your cannabis up, you would put it into the bowl, the trench there, close that up, squeeze the battery. It's going to start to heat the cannabis up as we discussed. You would inhale the vapor into your lungs that way. So essentially they do the same thing, just a little bit of a different look. This one would have a variable temperature setting. This one does not.
So this one is something that you would charge the battery. This one, you just get your AA battery to go with it.
Exactly.
As well. Now, does that little glass thing come out of this one?
You got it. So the glass mouthpiece is removable. You could actually just bring it right up to your lips in that regard, or use the glass mouthpiece.
And is there anywhere you can put that glass, or no? That's just
it stores in the box.
Yeah, maybe they can vent something like a little garage on the side or
there
something.
You go.
Right? Now this one, it kind of looks like like nose hair trimmers. Like when I first look at it, But
yeah, this is another one of our popular models that we have for sale at our education center. This is called the G Pen Elite by Granco. Granco is one of the more popular makers of dry herb vaporizers. How this works is basically there is a bowl in the top. It's made of ceramic. You would take some of your dried cannabis product. I happen to have some here, so let's just do that. Just pour some out. Grab yourself a herb grinder that's going to make the cannabis the perfect consistency for you. You would take the cannabis, put it into the herb grinder. We also sell these at Natural Health Services Education Center. Grind up your bud.
And that's all you need to grind it, right? You don't need to do it that much.
No, you don't. It's just
What about if you just took it like a piece off and stuffed it in? Why do you have to grind it, you find?
You're going to get way more surface area when you grind it up. It's a lot easier, and you're not going to use all the bud when you vaporize it that way. So you want to make sure you're being economically good with it as well. So what I'm doing is basically taking some of the ground bud, putting it into the bowl, the ceramic chamber. Then I would do is basically close the top. I'm going to turn on the vaporizer. By clicking it 5 times, turn it on, it's going to start to heat up that product.
Did you say 5 times?
Yeah, you click it 5 times. The reason you click it 5 times, if you were to put
this
this into...
Is that a stoner trick or something?
No, not at all. If you were to put this into your pocket or your purse, and it got jostled around, it could turn on, you could be in a meeting, and it could get embarrassing when you start to smell cannabis.
So if it pressed a couple times?
It's a safety feature.
Okay, so if it got pressed a couple times, you waited like 10 minutes, you'd still have to press it 5 times.
Yeah, you press it 5 times to turn it on, then it's going to start to heat up. Essentially, you're going to bring it to your lips, start the vaporization process. It's very, very,
excellent. Simple. So you're not at a hockey game or something like that, and all of a sudden everyone smells weed.
Very discreet. There's a lot less smell when you're vaporizing cannabis than when you actually.
That's nice and small. That looks like really easy. And this one, just a rechargeable battery?
Yeah, it's powered by USB, so super simple.
Oh, excellent. Now this one, it's a little bit bigger. It's like almost a carry-on, little wheels, little handle you can take through the airport and such.
Hear you.
What's happening here? This is complex.
So this is what we call the herbalizer, and herbalizer. This guy is what we would call a stationary vaporizer or a desktop vaporizer. So all of these ones here would be portable. This one is going to get plugged into the wall. So
it opens up and everything.
Opens up.
Yeah? Okay.
And what's going to happen is it comes with a whip. So this would be a piece that you would
looks like something you see at a hospital.
It is a medical. It's a medical grade device.
Okay.
And you would grind up your cannabis. It goes into the bowl here. You would basically close that up, and then you can attach the whip to it, and you would use the cannabis in that regard.
Now, as far as like the effect and such, what would be different? Just because this one is a lot bigger, would be anything different than that?
This one has a little bit more power. This particular model is using a halogen source for heat, so it heats up very, very quickly.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, essentially they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But some people prefer to have something a little bit more stationary.
Oh, that's excellent. And if people wanted to learn more about vaporizers and such, do you guys have anything at Natural Health Services?
We do. Every Wednesday night we host a free education session where patients can come in, prospective patients can come in, talk to us about medical cannabis, answer any questions that you have. We do a short little presentation and we go from there. The other thing is you don't actually have to be physically in the store to join us. You can visit us online and see the session that way.
Oh, excellent stuff all around. So yeah, any more information or any information for that, all you have to do is go to naturalhealthservices.ca. Cognitiva is a hybrid strain with genetics from UK cheese, which oddly enough is also what people call my sense of humour. I was born in England. UK flowers are on the denser end of the scale and light green with a coat of orange hairs that would even make Prince Harry jealous. Cognitiva is known for its relaxing effects, Patients have said that it has been extremely useful for relieving stress and back pain. Doctors also prescribe Cognitiva for arthritis, muscle spasms, and the dreaded migraine headache. Go ahead and order an extra cheese pizza, since this strain, with its strong cheesy scent, is also known for increasing your appetite.
This strain is absolutely a great daytime pain reliever. 70-30 sativa dominant, I believe, and the fact that you can use it throughout the day, stay uplifted, stay clear, stay focused, and relieve some pain. There's not a lot of sativas, for myself anyway, that allow me to do that and not intensify headaches.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing I notice when I use Cognitiva, mellow. Like it starts off pretty, no, I don't want to say use the word intense, but I it's definitely got that, you feel that sativa, and it just totally balances out, and that indica comes in, gives you a nice little warm hug. As you say, great for pain relief. Is that what you? Yeah. It's fantastic strain. Also, another great daily driver. In fact, I often will mix this with some Operari from Med Relief. The two together really have an excellent therapeutic effect, specifically for me anyway, in terms of stress relief. And also pain relief. I've got some back issues that really come through when I don't use this stuff. When I use it, boom, goes right away. Also, in terms of that smell, that real cheesy, spicy. It does have like a very cheesy smell to it. There's a reason why they call it cheese.
Absolutely, and very visually appealing, especially with that type of blend with the light green with those orange hairs, and you throw some Operari in there.
Yeah.
You get that darker green with some of that blue in there, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
You can ask us anything on the Cannabis Show. Hi, I'm Chris with Heart and Basil, and if you got a question for us, send it our way. You can email, or you can fire off us a tweet as well. Dun, 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 dun. The law. Where are we as for cannabis users? This is quite stressful, right? But when it comes to law and people are using cannabis, where are we right now in Canada at late 2016, early 2017?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. It's nothing that you need to fear of, as long as you are a medical patient registered under the ACMPR. That is that you are purchasing your cannabis through a licensed producer, a legal licensed producer in Canada. You have nothing to fear. You are actually legal as a medical patient. What makes you legal is the container that the cannabis comes in. It's going to have a sticker on the back with your name, your doctor's name, as well as what your prescription is for. So it works essentially just like a pill bottle. If you were to use some narcotics, take narcotics out of the house, you would need to have them in the pill bottle with your name on it. So in the same regard, that's where we're at. So in terms of possession and carry laws, that's what you need to know.
So when the police officer pulls you over or something like that, because you were doing something stupid like speeding, and then if you have that, if you got all the information and stuff like that, they really can't do anything.
Exactly. This is a completely illegal way to use cannabis in Canada. As I mentioned, what makes you legal would be that container. So as long as the cannabis is in that original container, you are covered.
So that includes like flying around in Canada as well. If you're jumping on an airplane, you're going to Toronto, you can take that with you.
100%.
Yeah,
What about with the pipe as well?
Yeah, you're going to want to keep this in your carry-on. Don't put it in your checked luggage, because the dogs don't know that it's your medicine. So keep it in your carry-on. You're not responsible to disclose that you have it. A lot of people would say that they'd like you to let them know. The police will be called in to check and verify that it is your prescription, but then you'll be sent on your way and allowed to have your flight.
And as far as like your pipes or your vapes and stuff, what would you recommend for that?
I always recommend, if you're going to bring a piece with you, make sure it's clean, but you should clean your piece anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay. And we'll use that for another, cleaning and stuff for another segment for sure. Okay. Well, this is like a two-part question though. You are driving, you get pulled over by the police or something like that. Does cannabis act like alcohol when it comes to sobriety or anything like that? Like, can they test you or?
Yeah, Health Canada recommends that you wait 4 hours after consuming THC before you drive. If an officer was to pull you over and suspect that you've been consuming cannabis and thinks maybe you're too high to drive, they will perform a roadside sobriety test.
And that's when you do like those kind of things.
That's
or
right.
Whatever I've never been in one before, but I assume that's what it's like. It seems the most common way of getting cannabis or its compounds is smoking or vaping it, But what about edibles? You hear a lot about people eating cannabis. Is that legal in Canada?
Yeah, so right now under the ACMPR, the licensed producers are only selling an edible extract. So that would be something like this. It's an edible oil product that you would basically just ingest. So they are not selling anything like gummy bears or brownies or cake pops or anything like that. You would have to create something like that on your own if you were wanting to do that. So you can't buy
anything
it
like that?
Absolutely, yeah. You can manipulate your medicine.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know as well. And I also I see hemp oil all the time in grocery stores. Really, what's the difference? Like, why is that being allowed to sell?
Yeah, hemp is it's considered a plant that has had less than less than 0.3% THC. So if that plant has no more than that, it can be considered hemp and legal to use.
Oh, excellent. So you can just buy that at your grocery store. Okay, well, if you have any questions for You Can Ask Us Anything, again, our email address is, or you can fire off a tweet as well.